Sinead, and this is Orla. Our project is called Can a Mandela Effect be created to manipulate the memory of teenage girls?
Our project stems off the global phenomenon called the Mandela Effect. This refers to a false memory among a large group of people.
The Mandela Effect began when a group of people online discovered that they had all falsely remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 80s. This is not a true event, but was remembered clearly by a large group of people across the world with seemingly no explanation.
Since then, many other Mandela effects have been discovered. At the beginning of our project, we looked into some common Mandela effects that have already existed. Have you experienced the Mandela effect? For example, do you remember Curious George having a tail? Well, if so, you've been tricked by the Mandela effect. Based on a survey done of students in our school, 56% of people also believed this, but it is untrue. Curious George never had a tail.
What about Pikachu's tail? Does it have a black tip, or is it all yellow? Believe it or not, Pikachu's tail has never had a black tip. If you thought it did, you are not alone. 67% of students in our school also remembered his tail with a black tip.
We drew a picture with lots of detailed colours and patterns to create a memory test called priming. We asked the questions in a suggestive manner and used fun facts to plant the false memory in their heads.
The hope is that those who took part in the experiment, which used priming, would falsely remember the details of the picture, and those in the control group would not share the same false memory.
This would support our hypothesis that it is possible to create a Mandela effect or false memory among teenage girls.
We also had a control group who were asked to recall the same information, but we did not use priming on them. We asked participants to recall how many trophies were on the shelf in the picture.
In the control group, 43.1% of participants correctly remembers that there was 3 trophies. 13.8% of participants falsely recalled there being 2 trophies.
In the experimental group, 48.7% of participants falsely recalled there being 2 trophies after being exposed to related stimuli and using suggestive questioning.
Similarly, when asked to recall the pattern on the bunting around the ceiling, 54.4% of participants in the control group correctly said stripes. Only 5.3% recalled seeing polka dots.
However, in the experimental group, 47.4% of participants recalled seeing polka dots when asked using suggestive questioning.
After discovering the Mandela Effect, we were intrigued by it.
What was the cause, and could we recreate one on a smaller scale?
Unfortunately, after analysing our results, we found that 2 out of our 6 questions had to be discarded as the details were too small for participants to see from afar.
However, we were left with 4 sets of results that prove our hypothesis.
This is just a quick overview of some of our findings.
In conclusion, we found that it is possible to manipulate memory using priming.